Hi Pisces, welcome to your July 2021 Astro Update. It's Raina here. So we're coming off of the Mercury retrograde as we enter July. Officially, as I record this video, it is Mercury going direct, and that is June 22nd, but then there's a little period afterwards where Mercury has to get back up to speed. So the official date for that is probably around the 6th or 7th of July when Mercury finally gets out of its shadow. But, you know, it's direct at the very least as the month begins. And so there is energy in Leo because as we go into July, Venus is in Leo. And for you, Leo is the sixth house, which is the house that is ruled in the universal chart by your opposite sign, Virgo. So it's a very practical house that deals with the day-to-day routines, the service that a person does. It's also the house of health. And Venus in this area can point to maybe getting a raise at work, having some kind of an upgrade at work, like a makeover in the office, anything to beautify the surroundings. Well, the surroundings of the sixth house have to do with the office place, or if you work from home, maybe I would say even working from home, if you have had a history of working outside the home, might be Venus in the sixth house because you feel a sense of comfort, a sense of ease. So it can vary depending on the individual. You may be spending money on some kind of big ticket item that can enhance your health. So whether that is a membership to a gym, or maybe creating your own, like a home gym or something like that, who knows? Or I call it the Vitamix transit, where you buy the sixth house can be diet, and so buying some kind of an appliance that's very expensive, whatever. Love in the office place, On the 9th, there is a new moon at 18 degrees of Cancer. Now, Cancer is the first water sign, and it is ahead of you, so this is your fifth house. This is such a wonderful place to have transits because it's the house of pleasure, the house of fun, the house of love and creativity. And Pisces are down with all of those things. It's really kind of funny about Pisces because the fifth house is Leo's house. And so I could say the same thing about Leo, creative and romantic and things like that, and fun-loving. But Pisces people also have those qualities. And you might express them in different ways, but you still have those qualities. So a new moon here can mean new love. It can mean, if you are artistic, that you're starting a new artistic project. This is the house of the business that you own, so that you could be creating a new business for yourself. This might be a great time for that, as Mercury is direct, and you have this period of time to launch something that is your own making. That might be very good for you. And on the 11th, Mercury goes into this house. So if you have if you have fallen in love, it's very interesting because Venus um, has already gone through this sign. I mean, through this house. Venus is now in this business-like area, but now we have Mercury. So maybe when Venus was there, you were crushing on somebody, or you infatuated with them, or downright fallen in love with them, but maybe never actually spoken to them. And now you're more verbal with Mercury in the fifth house. This can also be good for creative projects that have the written word involved. So playwrights, or if you are in the theater, that could also be speaking about that kind of thing. If you are a lyricist and maybe somebody else is a musician and you're collaborating, or they're writing the melodies. On the 21st, Venus goes into Virgo, and so this is that opposite sign of yours, and this is the seventh house. Now, Venus rules the seventh house in the sign of Libra. So this is the house of committed partnership. It's actually very good for any kind of serious relationships. This could be also good for somebody who is in the public eye, or trying to be in the public eye. This is the house of public relations. So Venus here can make you irresistible to anyone when you're trying to promote yourself in any way. It's also the house of legal affairs, and Venus can be money, so that might be something where you are receiving money from the result of a legal matter. Obviously, like I said earlier, talking about it being committed partnerships, this could be a romantic transit. If you're already coupled, this can enhance your union. On the 22nd, the sun goes into Leo. So we have these, these kinds of things of like the fifth house, sixth house, and seventh houses, all kind of at the same time. There's actually a lot going on in July, a lot of transits, and the sun going into Leo means that you're dealing with you kind of becoming more practical yourself. So you're going from this area of fun, and that was something I didn't really emphasize when I started this reading, that Venus started out the month of July in the sixth house, but the sun hadn't gotten there yet, and it takes until the 22nd for the sun to go into this area, and Venus has already gone into the seventh house at that point. So the sun going into the sixth house means that you may take a more sober approach. You've been dealing with the fun angle of having the sun in Cancer, and just enjoying your life, and now feeling like you need to get more practical and productive. And it's not to say, it's really important to note that even with the fifth house transits and having the sun in that area for the first 3 weeks of the month, that is certainly not to say that you're not going to be productive, but productive in the way that a Virgo would find it productive, which has to do with being organized, being disciplined. The fifth house is really about just kind of being spontaneous and letting the inner child come out to play. Who knows? Maybe even taking time off to do these things. And really, when you think about it, that is a form of productivity because the person has a goal and they want to relax. They don't want to kind of be somewhere in the middle. So if that's the time when you're taking some time off from work and then you get more serious in the last week of the month, that sounds like a plan to me, Pisces. So maybe you've already kind of intuitively planned out that you were going to do something along those lines. But yeah, so the sun goes into that sixth house on the 22nd. And the very next day, on the 23rd, we're having the first of two full moons in Aquarius. So the second one in August will be the blue moon in Aquarius at the 29th degree. And this full moon on the 23rd of July is at 1 degree of Aquarius. And so this is the sign right before you. So that is the 12th house. However, because it's only at 1 degree, those Pisces people who are 0 or 1 degree rising, or if your sun is those degrees, of course, you'll have to check your chart if you have one to find out, but this would be on the cusp with Capricorn, that you will, I'm sorry, I said Capricorn, I meant Aquarius, that you will have this you'll actually have this in your 11th house, not your 12th house. And this can mean the fulfillment of a long range goal, your hopes and wishes fulfilled. The 11th house is all about that, and it's all about friendships and group associations, but that could be something that is maybe like coming to an end if you belong to a group and you're not anymore, or a friendship that has run its course. The 11th house is the humanitarian house, and so it's a very idealistic sector, and it is connected to long-range goals, and the full moon can bring things to their peak, and that means the harvest time. So maybe you're going to have a goal, you're going to reach one of your goals. Now, this is a very important area because you are having a blue moon here as well. And so in that particular case, that can certainly feel like, bookend, like these two full moons are bookends, although the one in August will be in your 12th house. So it will be in a different place. And maybe, next month in August, you'll really, kind of tie up some loose ends in your life in a very definitive way. On the 27th, just to make it clear, for those few of you that do have this full moon in your 12th house, that's what I'm alluding to when I'm talking about these endings and things like that. This can be like the person who is realizing, full moons can bring realization, their self-defeating patterns. Now, Pisces rules the 12th house, so this is an area that you have a natural affinity for, and so the escapism that's associated with the 12th house is something that you may see as kind of almost like astral traveling, where you're not wanting to just stay in the 3D reality all the time. And sometimes, uh, even like watching an old movie or listening to music, something that takes you out of the mundane consciousness, whatever that is for you, can seem preferable to kind of being mired in the world. And yet, some of those things become habitual and they're very self destructive. So, this can be a time of letting go of those things by understanding that they exist in the first place. And certainly in August, that will be kind of a secondary letting go process for you. This is specifically for those who are born on the cusp with Aquarius. On the 27th, Mercury goes into Leo, so Mercury is going into that sixth house, the house that it rules. You may be concerned about diet, maybe reading about it. And when I say diet, I'm not talking about necessarily to lose weight, but to maybe become a healthier version of yourself, to just enhance your life in some way. This may be getting your house in order, like at least on the mental level, getting more of a structure to your life, routines in place that benefit you. On the 28th, there might be some negotiations going on at work, which involve contracts or a lot of talking of one sort or another. On the 28th, Jupiter is going back into Aquarius. Now, Jupiter has been in your sign, and that, Jupiter retrograded on the 20th of June, and now at the end of July has finally gone back into Aquarius. So, Jupiter going into your 12th house can be, I think like, I remember reading one time Jupiter in the 12th house, and they weren't even talking about retrograding Jupiter, but just like having good karma from another lifetime pay off, because Jupiter, like Venus, can bring money, so there might be some kind of financial gain, but it's coming from unexpected source, like the universe has your back in a very subtle way. Maybe you have guardian angels, but I was thinking that, since Jupiter is retrograding, talk about past life, good karma, uh, retrograde, past, that's past, that's going backwards too. So, some kind of opportunity, maybe to study some spiritual things that you had wanted to do so at an earlier date, and it might even involve traveling for it, can, come back for you. On the 29th, Mars goes into Virgo. So Mars goes into that seventh house to join Venus. So the divine lovers are in the seventh house. Mars is, I was going to say a little bit more combative than Venus. Well, Mars is the god of war. It doesn't have to be all bad. I mean, Mars is the libido. So if a relationship has kind of drifted into monotony or, predictability, Mars can add some spice to it. Venus has added romantic tendencies, and that can, bring to life a stagnant relationship. For relationships that are already vulnerable, this could add a little bit of argumentative or otherwise conflict to the relationship, and that might be something that is not, really positive, but perhaps it'll spur you into action to make a decision about what you're going to do about this. It's possible, it could be as simple as, you have Mercury in the sixth house, and maybe you're studying about the proper diet, and maybe you are enlisting with Mars in the seventh house, you're enlisting your partner to exercise with you. Mars has a physicality to it. So maybe you'll, devise something in your schedule so that you can maybe after dinner take a bike ride or, walk a mile or something like that. And you do it as a couple, and it makes it easier for you to accomplish. Okay, that's what I have for you, Pisces. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you would like a personal reading, I do transit readings for a 12-month period. I do combination readings, natal chart interpretations, all of that good stuff. You can click on the link below to see what kind of readings I offer. Thanks for listening. Take care. Bye.